Ever since I gave my life over to Satan, I've been amazed at how much I persecute Christians without even trying. In fact, recently, I apparently was persecuting Christians while I was in fact bending over backwards to try to be nice to them. There's a local school that rents out space to a church that meets there on Sundays. I observed that they left their signs up throughout the summer, and while I mentioned this in my neighborhood forum, Next Door is the name of the application, when I mentioned this, I got a lot of pushback. I asked if anybody knew how long the signs had been up, because at that time I didn't know they had been up all summer, and people began questioning, why can't you leave them alone, essentially was their view. They'd rather signs leading people to Jesus than some other things that went on these days. When I pointed out that the school really couldn't treat churches differently from anyone else and that sometimes churches thought that the rules didn't apply to them, it got even worse. My point was they've got private signs on the public right-of-way and then back on the school property. And in this forum where people are constantly complaining about people leaving their garage sale signs up or open house signs or builder signs, suddenly I find that saying that a church with a sign on public property needed to follow the rules or needed to be responsible like any business, I apparently was offending these people. Comments like, I don't see anything wrong with church signs, but then again, I love Jesus, so maybe I'm biased. This kind of comment went on while I was saying, I only want the rules to apply to everyone equally. I only think that the school needs to apply their rules and the homeowners association needs to apply the rules to everyone equally. But that apparently wasn't the opinion of many of my Christian neighbors. Eventually, one of the people who oversees this discussion forum quit taking new comments to this discussion and then took the entire discussion down, telling me that I had been reported for having hurtful rather than helpful conversations. If you can read the comments yourself, you can get an idea of who's being hurtful and who's being helpful. I really did bend over backwards, trying to be nice, but the thing that really gets me is the guy who shut down conversations on this particular discussion thread, right after he shut that down, a new thread opened where another neighbor is complaining about yard art, and he went on in really vicious, sarcastic terminology about how tacky some of the people's yard art is. That didn't get shut down. That wasn't considered being hurtful to his fellow neighbors. The guy that shut my forum down commented on the other forum saying that it was right that, there is a lot of really tacky yard art out there. He didn't seem to think that that was being hurtful to his neighbors. Moreover, when he shut down the comments to my discussion thread, he said, well, that's outside of our homeowners association. But in this Nextdoor forum, you have the option of posting comments to all the surrounding neighborhoods as well. And nobody has ever had a comment banned because it pertained to something outside their homeowners association. This is just a made-up rule. But I think what really ticked them off was when I said, we all just want to live by the golden rule. Man, never tell a Christian that. They hate that rule.